Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Butte-Silver Council of Commissioners regular meeting for Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
1 presiding, 9 present, 1 absent.
Please let the record show that Commissioner Walker is excused. Commissioner Sorich, will you lead us in the prayer and the pledge, please?
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, Almighty God, we implore you, look upon us and guide us this night as we make decisions which will greatly affect our community of Butte-Silver. Direct our thoughts, words, and deeds so that we please you and best serve our fellow citizens. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Sorich. I'll now call on Commissioner Shea for the approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I would make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 20th, 2023 regular meeting.
We have a motion and a second. Is there anything on the question? Would commissioners please vote? Commissioner Sorich. I don't vote. What's that? Nope, I think we're good. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay, motion passes. 0 nay, motion passes. Items not addressed on the agenda. I'm not seeing any, none that I know. Chief Executive's report. I am not the Chief Executive. He is traveling. He's having some traveling issues, and so hopefully he gets back safely. I don't know if you saw in the news, but there was a passenger on a flight, and he was on that plane. So, but everything's fine now, and he will hopefully be back either later tonight or tomorrow. So we wish him safe travels on his way back. The other thing that I want to talk about is Director Burns there had been talk about scheduling a training from the state for GCCM, and Director Burns was able to get a training put together next Thursday, and it is from 12 to 2, recognizing that that is in the middle of everyone's workday. We tried to get it to do after work hours, but the state wasn't able to make that work. So she's going to send an invitation to everyone. Try to make it if you can. So we decided on the lunch hour, and so yeah, the state's going to come in, give us some training and a presentation, and then depending on how that goes, Director Burns will be coming to this council and giving a presentation on what she has learned and found out. So be expecting an invitation tomorrow on that. Any questions?
You don't happen to know where it's at?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I do. It's at the archives. Yep.
What's the date?
Thursday the 11th. Yep. And that invitation will be coming, and I'll have Barb follow up also. So all right, moving on. Public comment on any items on the agenda. Okay, seeing none. Section 1, consent agenda. A, committees reports. Do we have any friendly amendments or segregations? Commissioner Shea.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a friendly amendment on item number 10, Communication 2024-10. The two words "for chemicals" should be struck from that title. The
Okay.
bid opening is not for chemicals, it's for the hot asphalt.
Oh, okay. It got doubled up on Communication 11. I see that.
Yep.
Okay. Any segregations? All right. Seeing, Commissioner Callahan with the late hand there. All right.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to segregate number 14, number 2024-14,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. All right. Any other segregations? Okay. Seeing none. Commissioner Shea.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda. A, committee reports 1 through 4, and B, communications 1 through, I think 18? 1 through 18, with the exception of number 14, communication number 2024-14.
We have a motion and a second. Is there anything on the question? Would commissioners please vote? Clerk, will you record the vote?
Ten yea, 0, or, yeah, 10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay, motion passes. 0 nay, motion passes. Okay, moving on, 14, communication number 2024-14. Linda Sager Joyce, Clerk and Recorder, requesting Council of Commissioners authorization to have Chief Executive Gallagher sign the professional service agreement with Everly and Associates to survey the southern border of Walkerville. This border has not been clearly defined and affects voters and taxpayers along this border. Commissioner Callahan.
Thank you, Chairman Frederickson. I was just curious if Ms. Sager Joyce could give us a little bit of a background on where we're going with this, or where the issues came up, or
Yeah. Clerk and Recorder, Sager Joyce. This is good. I was always wondering where the town of Walkerville started and ended.
It never ends. For the record, I'm Linda Sager Joyce, Clerk and Recorder for Butte-Silver. This communication is something that we've been talking about for the past year, since redistricting. What happened during redistricting was the maps we would look at had Walkerville in different, the southern border, and especially the southeastern border, east of Main Street, in different places. And when we contacted Walkerville about it, they also had that same issue, where the border is actually, we believe, somewhere between O'Neill Street and La Platte. The maps show the border in different places. We were, in Butte-Silver, we were able to find 3 maps that showed that. And Walkerville had 3 maps, different maps, that also showed those same things. So, in election interest, I would like it to be as accurate as we can get it, so the proper people are voting in the municipal election, and it spills into things like where people are taxed. And while the borders, we can go back to the beginning in 1890, and the west and east boundary are well defined with legal descriptions. The southern border is not. So that's what we want to do, is start with the southern border, get that defined, and then we'll have it on record. And any administrative changes that we would make for an election or a precinct, we can then document, and going forward, we'll know what those are.
Commissioner Callahan.
I was just curious, is this going to create some issues if we tell people they're no longer Walkerville people or Centerville people? You know, the
already
Walkerville people
has.
are proud to be Walkerville people, and Centerville people are proud to be Centerville people.
Yes.
When you tell them they're not, where is that going to put us?
We believe that it already has created an issue. This happened in the 2014 redistricting, and we actually found in that redistricting process that the borders were askew in more than just Walkerville. And so when we tried to overlay what we thought was the current boundaries, the Walkerville one was off. And so no matter what we do, people are going to be mad, but this is the legal boundary. That's why we're doing the survey. And so we'll have that legal boundary, and we can adjust as we need to, if we need to. I think we will, because we're going to find out that the border probably runs through some houses, and we'll have to make that adjustment.
The husband votes on one side and the wife votes on the other side?
We'll see what happens.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Callahan. Thank you, Clerk and Recorder. Is there any other questions? Oh, Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you, Chairman Frederickson. Linda, thank you for the update. At work today, this was brought up, and I told some people I'd get back to them. So I appreciate the information. I have two questions. One, who pays for the survey? Also, you mentioned the southern border of Walkerville. Is there something that the whole town or the whole border of Walkerville might be a question of where it is? Was I incorrect on hearing that? Just curious.
We believe that my issue was with the southern border, and I can use grant money to pay for that. Walkerville has some issues with the northern border, and it's a little iffy for on some maps as well on where the eastern border is and the western border. We found a survey from 1956, the McGloin Heights edition, where that was the last time that the mayor from Walkerville and the mayor of Butte agreed on what the line was, but we want to resurvey it to make sure that there weren't any changes made since 1956 that we should be taking into account.
Okay. Commissioner Callahan.
So I guess in order to do that, you have to find the original cornerstones and all that kind of stuff. What happens if they
Yes.
don't find that stuff?
Our surveyor, Bob Everly, has found, I believe, the cornerstone, and that will be our starting point where we will again ask the governing bodies from both the municipality and the county to sign off as the starting point, and it will be the southwest corner. So it'll be in McGloin Heights.
Yep. Follow up, Commissioner Callahan.
Actually, that corner, according to the map, is over closer to Big Butte. Some of them houses over right up north of Big Butte are in Walkerville city limits.
On this, this is the starting point they used on the 56 survey.
Okay.
I may not be correct on the exact street location, but it would be Excelsior and somewhere in between 16th and 17th.
16th and 17th.
Yeah,
Some of those houses on 16th, their backyards are in Walkerville, their houses but right there at Walkerville Drive, some of their houses, it goes right through the middle of them.
right.
According to that sign on Walkerville Drive.
Yes.
How accurate that is, I'm not
Yes,
sure.
and that's, as part of the survey, we're going to identify the residences that may be cut by that border, and we'll work with the municipality and other interested parties for taxes, the assessor, probably budget and finance as well, to determine where they're currently paying taxes and what would be acceptable. The rule that the Secretary of State uses in elections is it's where they sleep at night. We're going to guess where those are. But we'll use sensible things. We have several different places how people judge where things go. For instance, GIS would use where the driveway is, or where the entrance to the house is. But there was a court case in Montana specifically dealing with elections, and the ruling was, it's where they lay their head at night, is the residence. So,
Commissioner Callahan.
Thank you. One more question. I guess as long as we're checking the southern borders, and you said you've had people question the northern borders, which we've run into that issue since the no shooting ordinance went through, and the garbage pickup ordinance went through, wouldn't it be worth your while to locate those for sure also?
because those borders don't deal with elections, I think my office would have a hard time justifying that cost. In August, we approved the grant using HAVA funds, which is Help America Vote Act. So we'll be looking for, or the state will be looking for, how did that northern boundary affect elections? The southern boundary is easy. There were people who were less than happy about not being able to vote in the municipal election.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Commissioner Fisher.
Thank you, Chairman Frederickson. Thank you, Linda. So this all being one precinct, it really has, I mean, the people still be voting. It's not like when we had redistricted in our districts where we had to take some houses out of one district, put in the other. These are still people that will vote in the same precinct or area because it's still all in that same area, right?
The boundaries for Walkerville are defined by two precincts, 10 North and 10 South. Traditionally, that's what they were called. 10 South is the one with the issue. And this does affect them when we go to the ballot issue for local government study, because it's not just for the county. Walkerville will also have the issue for a municipal government study. So we want to make sure that the people who are eligible to vote on that question in Walkerville are in that precinct and not the one right below.
I can answer that.
Follow-up, Commissioner Fisher.
Thank you once again, Chairman Frederickson. So in other words, precinct 10 North and 10 South, local government is still the same. I mean, the commission districts, legislative districts, and senate districts are all still the same.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Callahan. All right.
I guess to answer part of that question is the difference would be the people of Walkerville also have their own election. You know, they just had an election that elected their alderman and they elect a mayor. So the people on the outside of the Walkerville city limits don't vote, even though we're in the same state elections and the county elections. Those folks have other things that they vote on that someone like me wouldn't vote for.
Yeah, and as the clerk and recorder said, we're going to have, we have to look at both local governments, Walkerville and Butte. So it's important that we define where these boundaries are. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you very much, Chairman Frederickson. Lynn, I guess the question I'd have on this is all of our other precincts for the commissioners and for the state house and everything, 90% of those boundaries are determined by streets. Like mine is like, I don't have the east part of Main Street, but I have the west part. I don't have the north side of Broadway or Granite on various blocks. Would using the street be the best way, like 16th, 17th, and just kind of using that for the boundaries, or is that borderline too distinct for that? When it's running through different parcels of land, I feel like you'd almost have to take up that whole parcel, and it seems like it could be, I know that some of the boundaries kind of run crossways through different sections of property, so I was wondering on that through streets and stuff.
That would be the practical administrative changes that we would make. Because that southern boundary, we believe, was actually based on mining claims, and that's why it's not really a straight line.
Okay.
If you're to look at any of the maps, they're all going at an angle. So, and currently, and especially with this last redistricting, we used census blocks, which are these nice, uniform rectangle shapes. And when boundaries were defined before, they were based on, mostly on a natural boundary, like a stream, or where somebody's mining claim ended. So they don't always match up, and that's why we would do some administrative, practical boundary changes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
That should be doing.
All right. Thank you so much. Great discussion. All right. Oh, Mr. Callahan, thank you.
I will motion that we concur and place on file communication number 2024-14.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Question? Would commissioners please vote? Clerk, will you record the vote?
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay, motion passes. Motion passes. Moving on to section 2, ordinance and resolutions introduced to judiciary. Please note that we have note 1, resolution number 2024-01. And then I'll ask, well, we have calendars and other meetings and events. Take a look at that. And then I'll ask for public comment on any matters not on the agenda. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
All right.
All opposed?